there's a massive false belief that I see in entrepreneurs, myself and you guys, that is keeping us from making a lot more money and having a lot more joy by building the life that we've always wanted. And it's what I call the myth of the straight path. You see, just this week, one of my favorite students in Copylete, Frederick, he's an absolute terminator. The dude is just like ruthless executor, grind mode. He loves to take like data on everything. He does a recap every single month. And he recapped how he didn't make any money this month. Even though he'd made some in the past, he'd been making all this progress when it came to revenue. This month, he didn't. But he had a massive realization. He discovered the things that he doesn't like doing. He's now building an offer around things that he's passionate about and he wants to do and will ultimately lead him to make way more money in the future. So he took a couple steps back in order to make a big jump forward in the future. And the same is true of my path. And anyone I've seen that's made over 10K a month, going on to make, 50, hopefully 100, is it's never a straight path. And I want to give you guys a visualizer right here because this is going to help you so much. If you're just listening, what I've got here is I've got this squiggly line path that goes all the way up to a star, but it takes a lot of squiggles, a lot of left, right-hand turns, sometimes going backwards. And then I have this red dotted line that goes straight from the bottom all the way up to the top, straight to the star. And this red line that goes straight up doesn't exist. But it's what you think exists. Because of marketers, because of people like me, honestly, in the past, where I've told you, oh, it's easy to do this, just learn this one skill or just do this thing. That doesn't exist in reality. No one's journey looks like that. No one goes straight through, has no mess ups. They don't have to relearn something. They don't have to pay for a course that didn't work for them. They don't have to try different skills. That doesn't exist. The real path of every successful entrepreneur looks like this squiggly mess. And there's a couple of takeaways from this that hopefully will like change your life and help you make money a lot faster. And the first, like I said, is not falling for the myth of the straight path. Because I've seen so many entrepreneurs who join my program and just people that I've known who think that it's going to be a straight path. And when it takes one cut to the right or one cut to the left, and they didn't expect it to be that hard, they quit. And some of them come back because I believe God has made us, lifelong entrepreneurs. It's who we are. But some of them quit forever because it didn't meet their expectations. And expectations are everything. That determines your happiness, is your expectations. If you think something's going to take an hour and it takes you 20 minutes, you're excited. If you think it'll take you 5 minutes and it takes you 20 minutes, you're sad. It's all about expectations. And so realize that it's not going to be straight, brother. There's going to be twists and turns and lefts and rights. You're going to go backwards before you go forwards. Which brings us to the second realization. The only way to actually make it to your goal is to keep going in some direction. Another massive problem, maybe it's entrepreneurs who don't quit, but they're sitting here trying to make their path perfect. They believe the lie that it's going to work if they think long enough. The perfectionism kicks in. They're like, I don't want to start this channel. I don't want to do this. What if the video's not perfect? What if I don't have a great thumbnail? What if I don't have a good offer? What if my niche isn't right? What if I source the wrong leads? All these what ifs keep you from moving in any direction because you're trying to force the real path of the squigglies into the straight path, which doesn't exist. And so what do? Well, hopefully you guys are watching me and I'm leading by example. You just take action. You just go the direction that you think is going to work and then just do it. Do it hard. But don't be surprised when it doesn't work. Because guys, you're seeing me make these videos and they get a couple hundred views. Some of them maybe get 1,000. But do you notice the 700 videos I made before these? And the 13 failed YouTube channels and the 7 failed businesses before I finally made, close to $1 million in revenue online. You guys don't see that, a lot of you. And I can say that, and it sounds so cool to say, oh, yeah, I failed all this stuff. But you guys are not realizing what it feels like to be there. Do you know what it felt like on the 6th failed business and still no money? And my wife's wondering, is this ever going to work? Our families are looking at me like an idiot. I should just get a decent job. That's what sucks, man, is whenever you're sitting here at one of these cross sections where you're like way off the path, the feeling that feels like it is terrible. But I just want to encourage you. Every time you take action, you're getting closer to your goal. You might be going freaking horizontal, where it doesn't look like you're making any progress, but you're going to learn what not to do. And you can cross that off your things of that you shouldn't be doing, getting closer to the thing that you should be doing. And it's just the only way to learn. It's the only way to learn. And so if you're failing right now, it's okay. It's all right. You're getting closer. It might not feel like it, but you are, because you're on this path. And the straight path doesn't exist. It's a complete myth. Complete myth. And Nicholas, one of our guys, he watched all those videos, but he put a quote, I think it was him, in our Copy Elite Discord. He said that, if you knew how many failures, how many tries it would take for you to actually succeed, how fast would you start failing? If you knew how many videos it would take before one went viral, if you knew how many outreaches it would take before you landed your first client, how fast would you start failing? And that's the frame you should have, is as long as you're taking action, as long as you're working towards that goal, albeit slow, albeit it doesn't feel good, you're getting there. You're getting closer. So hopefully this encourages you today, and to use these takeaways to then give yourself encouragement, to have the right expectations so that you can actually start succeeding. So hope this helps you guys, and I'll see y'all in tomorrow's video.